Imperial looks set to continue its acquisition strategy, looking at deals valued between 500 million and 1.5 billion rands in both Europe and Africa. Africa currently contributes 6.5% to the group's operating profit. That's Africa outside of South Africa, so lots of opportunity for growth there. Samantha Loring spoke to Imperial's chief executive, Hubert Brody.
Look, our key area for growth is our international and African expansion of our logistics business. So we would grow through acquisitions in Europe. Our European logistics business would do that. And also our African logistics business would certainly make acquisitions. And in the African logistics business, we think that the appropriate size for a transaction is somewhere between 500 million and 1.5 billion. We are still learning. We don't want to take very big leaps at a time. And if we can therefore just spread our exposure somewhat in a number of jurisdictions across a number of deals and industries, we think that's a safe size.
How easy is it for you to integrate these African logistics players into the Imperial Group? How long does that process take before they feel like they're part of the group and they're functioning according to your operational requirements?
We find that the management of these businesses, in the case of MDS Logistics, our partners, which is a listed Nigerian group, UAC, they welcome us getting involved. We have quite an advanced logistics organization with quite a lot of skills across our group that we can pull in and improve the performance or just assist with the efficiencies and the logistics thinking of these companies. So generally there's a welcoming of our involvement. There's generally quite a quick acceptance of the value that we add. And then I don't think you must underestimate that the governance in some of these companies are actually fine. I mean, some of them come out of listed groups in the first place. But yes, one has to also make sure that you don't go and move in and try and break the culture of a company that actually operates in a different country, and that you think you can use your South African cultural style of running businesses in other places. So we also have to be very sensitive to the people and the culture in that company, and try and blend our brand of doing business with what they've always been good at.
Yeah, I mean, some of your key clients in Africa that you've moved with into Africa, the likes of Tiger Brands, you've also got Procter & Gamble. I mean, you've got big brands that you're distributing products for in Africa. Are there more global big brands that are coming to you right now and outsourcing the logistics part of their business to you? Because that's, of course, where you have your skills in, obviously.
Yes. In fact, we're in South Africa, our logistics is mostly around supply chain planning, warehousing, distribution and transport. In Africa we do that, but what many of these global brands like us to do for them, and what we do, is that we also assist them in building their brand, in merchandising their product, taking their product actually to market, and on selling the product. So we would even take ownership of product and of stock, and on selling it into wholesale. So we actually do a bit more for them, particularly where there's countries where they want to be present, but they are not yet ready, or they don't feel it's appropriate that they actually have their own infrastructure. So it's sort of a full circle of service that we provide in Africa. And that started with the acquisition of CIC, which was always that kind of company, which is a FMCG distributor. And we've now expanded that into other countries, and ultimately we would do that in Nigeria, expand that into Kenya. And it seems to be a model that's very popular with our clients.
Which countries are the focus area for Imperial outside of South Africa in Africa?
Look, the first focus area has always been, and must continue to be the backbone of our African operation, is the SADC countries, the countries north of South Africa's borders. We have meaningful businesses in Namibia and Botswana, some business in Zimbabwe that's actually going fine. We've grown quite a significant business in Mozambique, and also well established in Zambia. So that's the first area that we must continue performing and be well established. And then we've been moving into West Africa with the RTT Health business that we acquired, which is Ghana and Nigeria. We've now created a platform in Nigeria for further distribution through MDS. And then we are reasonably well established in Kenya as well. through some warehouses that we have there, and some distribution that we do in pharmaceuticals and consumer products. And I think that will also be a platform for growing that more.
Mm-hmm. Just lastly, let's go to Europe, because that is also a key pillar of your growth right now. You mentioned that you've got the full year contribution of Lenkering coming through, and this is a space that you're looking at for further acquisitions. Are there businesses up for sale in your sector right now there? Are they going at good prices? I mean, what's the conditions when it comes to buying businesses like in Europe right now?
Yes. We're very positive about our European business. We think we have a great team there, and we think it's a business that can actually take more in, can actually do more in there. That business has capacity now that we've settled Lenkering down. We certainly have capacity to grow into the next opportunity or make the next acquisitions. Now, from a pricing point of view, there's always businesses available. The point here is that you also can't really generalize about it. You've got to actually wait for a business that is in a certain period or a certain stage of its evolution, that it's ready for sale. Whether it's something affecting the ownership structure, whether it is a reason why it needs a new ownership, for example, it hasn't got capital to expand. And when you find the businesses in that point of their evolution, that's normally when you find the right priced businesses. And but you have to have people on the ground in contact with the markets, and that's how these opportunities come up.
Yeah, I mean, is there a gap where you see a specific aspect of your logistics business needing to grow, or is there a specific business you're eyeing?
We're always in contact with opportunities across all of our industries, and particularly logistics, where we want to grow. Now, logistics, we're very happy with the Lenkering acquisition. We think the chemical logistics area and the chemical manufacturing services is a very attractive industry. Relatively high barriers to entry, a lot of safety and health type of requirements, and a business where you need to have a bit of capital and quite a high level of skills to be involved with, and that's the sort of industries that we like. And then also the consumer logistics area, which we're very strong in Africa and in South Africa. It's an area where we haven't really started playing in Europe or in other places of the world, and if opportunities come up, we would look at that.